Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabrielle Snow and today we are going to be going over rope. If you're like me and you love modeling within RPG styles, you know that rope is a common thing that we have to tackle. You can go through a whole bunch of rope tutorials like these, but if that's just not in your time frame, then I suggest you go and find a Blender add-on for rope like the one that I'm going to be showing you today. Here is the 50 Blender Rope Tools add-on. It is actually on ArtStation. I'll be leaving the artist description, his ArtStation links, and his YouTube links down below in the description box. And if you do happen to go over there, drop him a tip because this is a really fantastic tool, and honestly it feels like stealing if you don't pay a little bit for it. But here's just a quick look over on all of the ropes and variations that you can use. We have chains. There's even this really cool one that looks like scales if you wanted to make a snake, kind of wrapped around a model. But yeah, it's just a really great variety. In my video today, I'm going to be using rope variation 1 and rope variation 10. The first one is just a regular rope and the second one is a chain for a candle chandelier that I'm making. Now, with warning, this model that I'm making right now is not actually going to make it into my project because it didn't turn out good at all. I'm actually kind of embarrassed of it, but at the same time, like, I just wanted to show people that when you are modeling, not every thing comes out perfect, not every idea is executed well, and this one just was not executed well. I was trying to make a bushel of lavender that's found hanging off of the ceiling in the Freya house, and it just ended up looking like a big fat doobie. So so we're not going to be using that, but I did want to show this is kind of like a really cool hand painted texture that I added on in the material, and kind of proud of myself going all the way and trying that out. But this is definitely not a model I'm going to be using because it looks really bad. Right here, I'm just trying to add a little bit of brown material onto the rope, maybe to save it, maybe to change my mind on this model, but then I just think, no, it looks really bad, I'm not using it. So I kind of ditched it, and I went on to my next project. This is the one that I really like, I want to show y'all. This is a hanging candle chandelier. At this point, I was a little discouraged because I had tried this bushel of herbs a few times, and it just kind of discouraged me because it didn't turn out very well, as you could see, but this candle chandelier turned out really nice. So right now I'm just kind of laying down my candles, positioning them, centering them, and now I'm going to go back in with my rope add-on. Well, first I'm going to join these candles together, and I'm going to add just a little bit of finesse to my chandelier base, kind of pushing them back down. And now I'm going through and I'm adding in my rope. Right here, I forgot what rope number I was looking for, so you can actually go back into his ArtStation. It's super great documentation because then you know, oh, okay, well, they're already numbered and they're organized when you append them into your project. So I'm kind of positioning and scaling down my chandelier to match the chain and to match the size of the chain that I want it set at. Also right here, I'm having a little bit of trouble removing the original brassiere curve, I don't know if I said that right, to the rope. And as you can see, when I went to go draw it, the rope wasn't following the draw tool. And that's because when I originally put the rope in, I put the wrong one in. I just deleted it, but there was still remnants of the original rope left behind. And I think that was causing an issue when I added in my rope number 10, which is actually this chain. So make sure when you do add in a variation of the rope that, and you want it gone, make sure everything in that collection is removed, because I think it actually inhibits you to manipulate the new one. Was that a glitch? That was a glitch. Now I'm just going through and I'm positioning these chains all around my chandelier to hold it like it's hanging, and these chains look fantastic. It was super easy, I didn't have to manipulate these because they were pretty much just in a straight line, and I just had to angle them correctly so they'd be hanging off of a pillar. These are so great. It was honestly the closest thing I could find to the reference image, and just really easy to use. Right now I'm adding some notches onto the balls of my chain to the base of the chain, so it kind of looks like it's hooked on, a little stylized, right? I mean, that's just kind of my style. I'm a little more of a stylized artist than hyperrealism. And right now, yep, that's my OBS. But I am going in and I'm just kind of painting some wax, because when you just add a solid base color onto a model, it doesn't look that great. And this is something that I wanted to render out and use for my art station and my portfolio, so I thought I'd just kind of go in and make a quick like little texture in my Affinity designer. And now we are back and I'm adding in my base, and we're just adding in the image material onto my candles. Now I'm just kind of applying just some basic material onto my chains, just to kind of look at them and just kind of get a quick rough view. It's not something that's going to stay, because ultimately I'm going to go apply a metal material texture that I found online. There's some really good references online that you can go find if you don't want to go and paint your own textures. I typically don't paint my own textures, but I think I was just having fun today. Now I'm going through and I'm just kind of sculpting down my candles, making them look like they melted, a little waxy. I went over this on, I think, my 3rd or 4th video that I have, where I was making candles for a table within Freya's house as well, and I just kind of did the same thing to the candles here. And they look pretty good. You know, from a distance they're gonna look nice. Now right here, I kind of messed up because on the base, I decided to sculpt onto this with some cuts, and I don't know, it just wasn't turning out right. And also too, when I did increase the voxel size of this base, when I went to go apply the metal texture on, it didn't unwrap correctly, because there's just so many faces on the base now, to where we're getting 1,000 little variations of this metal texture, so it kind of turned out into this sluggy looking brown. So I will ultimately go and replace the base of this because it just didn't turn out right. I did try to go and decimate the base to see if I could get the material on correctly, but it just wasn't working. I love doing this. I love putting lights inside my candles. It just really sets the mood. I don't know, it just kind of brings me back to the piece. It just helps me kind of reposition the composition of the piece, and it gets me really excited to render it out and to add on materials. I don't know, it just kind of brings some life to the art as I'm working on it. So getting really excited at this point. This is when I'm adding that image material on, and I see that there are like 1 billion faces on this plate, so it's just not really going to work out. So I decided to start over and just get a new base and keep it pretty low with the faces. I think there may be like, I don't know, 35 or 40 faces onto this one, which makes it really easy when I go and apply the texture back. I'm just rescaling it back down to the chandelier that I needed at, repositioning my anchors a little bit. And at this point, I think I'm seeing the candles are getting lost in all of the chains and the base, so I'm probably going to go and rescale the candles, make them a little bit bigger, because they were just getting lost in all of the information. And I didn't want that because they are my light source, and the reason why the chain and the base is there is to hold the candle, so I wanted them to take the same importance. Here I'm throwing this metal material onto my base. It looks so much better now that we don't have 1 trillion faces that we're working with, and I can unwrap it correctly. I'm trying to apply them onto my cylinders or my spheres, and it wasn't working out, so I removed those, and then I applied the image material onto the chains, and oh my gosh guys, this looks so great. It looks really good. I love it. Really proud of this. The chains look amazing, all thanks to this rope tool that I'm going to be linking down below. It just really sold this project. Honestly, probably would have taken me a lot longer to get this project off the ground if it wasn't for this rope add-on. I mean, I don't know, probably would have taken me a couple hours to get these chains handmade, and learning all the modifiers that I would need to build it out, so I highly recommend this add-on. Now I'm making a pillar. So in the Freya house, of course, we have all of our structural beams, which are exposed on the ceilings, and I am going to go apply those into the scene when I get to that point, but I thought it'd be cool just to kind of add a pillar in the scene right now for just visual purposes, and when I render it out, you kind of get a better understanding of where the where the chandelier is going to be sitting. And right now I'm just going to unwrap my pillar. And as you can see, when I go and unwrap it and I have the UV map over the texture, you can kind of play with where your map is sitting on the texture to see if you like it better. Make sure like the striations look good, it doesn't look too cheesy. And actually I think I went and shaded it smooth, which in hindsight probably wouldn't have done that. But at this point, I was just really eager to get some rendered images in because it was just really exciting and it was looking great. But I just want to thank you so much for being here today, checking out my channel, going with me on this robe add-on tool that I've been working with. I hope it was a little informative and kind of show you how I've been using it. I highly recommend go check him out. I will be linking all of his stuff below, and don't forget to like and subscribe because I have a small channel and I really do appreciate all of that. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!